Should we be celebrating the release of FICO 08, the newest version of the credit scoring model that all the lenders will be using? Actually, it remains to be seen if the lenders will really embrace this change. To make sure they do, FICO 08 is promising lenders to improve their ability to determine if you will default. In fact, they're promising a 5 to 15% improvement. How will they do this? First, the score will be more sensitive to capacity. In other words, overutilization of your available credit, especially revolving credit or credit cards, will be more important in this new formula. For those of you who are carrying debt on your credit cards, this is bad news. Also, the score will react more negatively to any activity for anyone that has limited credit history. Now, in years before, in observing previous models, we've seen people with 700 credit scores, and they only had 2 or 3 trade lines or accounts reporting. And then all they had to do was maintain excellent payment history, and they would keep those high scores. Now with FICO 08, it's going to be more sensitive. So if a person with limited history is doing anything or doing too much activity, their scores might go down. So for you thin trade line people or thin account people, doesn't look very good. FICO 08 will also ignore collection accounts where the original debt was less than $100. Now this is interesting. It can be good and it can be bad. Good because I can't tell you how many people I've watched drop 20 points or more because of new collection. I mean, it can be a $47 collection and the scores drop. The bad part is it really makes me wonder how many collection companies are going to add a few extra dollars on to make sure that collection debt is over $100. Now, along the same lines, Fair Isaac states that the new version will be less punishing for those who've had just one serious setback, like a charge-off or a repossession. However, everything else must be in good standing. So for those of you who have just those occasional slip-ups, this is good. For those of you who are serial offenders, this is bad. There will be no quick fixes for you with FICO 08. Finally, the most anticipated of the changes. In a practice called piggybacking, or the selling of trade lines with history, FICO has made some changes. FICO will continue to factor in authorized user accounts, but they've put in indicators to reduce any potential abuses. Now, Fair Isaac hasn't stated exactly how this will be done, but it's going to be interesting to watch. Realistically, it can take a few years before lenders convert to FICO 08. I'll give you a good example. Microsoft. Which version are you using? Could be Vista, could be 08, XP, I mean, whatever. FICO has so many versions, but so does Microsoft. It gets confusing about which ones get used and when. So if you were confused before, you are guaranteed to be confused now. The bottom line is FICO and FICO 08, the new version, will be in use at the same time. You know, I know one thing. Somebody has to help make sense of all of this mess. And you know what? I hope you know we're here to help. Visit us at creditunlocked.com.